A warm welcome and good morning to all of you all to yet another knowledge series session on the Abhay Yojna, which is the Stamp Duty Amnesty Scheme. I also welcome our Honorable President, Shri Baman Irani ji, and our Honorable Secretary for CREDAI MCHI, Shri Dhaval Ajmera ji. Over to you, Baman sir, for a few thoughts about the initiative and the session, and followed by Dhaval sir to share his few thoughts as well.
So thank you, Arshul. Thank you very much. And hey, welcome, guys. On a Saturday morning, what could be a better time to understand how we can, work on the government scheme where there is a lot of savings that are possible because of, let's say, our past not being able to go ahead and register our documents or pay the stamp duty. And there are so many reasons why we don't do it. I think the government has come up with this amnesty scheme, and Mr. Girish Jain, I look forward to a very interesting, enlightening session with you, where you enlighten our members as to how we can go ahead and take maximum benefit from this scheme. I wish you all the very best, guys.
Thank you.
Dhaval sir, requesting you to share a few thoughts. Thank you, President sir.
Hi, morning, everyone. I think, as Baman sir has already mentioned, primarily today in our, the world of RERA and, openness and transparency and technology, I think, there are so many of us or our past residents who may have not paid any stamp duty, or there have been many properties of us which may probably fall into litigation. And because we've not paid stamp duty or something like that, or we've not registered, I think these kind of schemes which is being brought in by government is like an amnesty scheme which can actually help all of us regularize our properties, make tangible. And I think it is the best thing, and the ways to do this and the methods to do, I think it's commendable with Harshul and Girish Jain ji to give us some guidance so that we all can benefit out of it and actually make this scheme a worthwhile for all of us, and something which we can take benefit of. So good luck and all the best to everybody.
Thank you, Honorable Secretary. Without further delay, I would quickly introduce our speaker for the session, CA Girish Jain ji. Girish Jain sir has a 26-year practice. His uniqueness is he is a chartered accountant as well as qualified as a lawyer, LLB. And his transaction advisory is fourfold. He keeps in mind GST, income tax, legal angles, as well as the stamp duty implication. Now, this is a very unique proposition because normally when we look to address one particular aspect, the other parts are missed and the document needs reworking. And with tremendous experience, which is over 2 decades, we couldn't have a better speaker than CA Girish Jain ji. Sir, over to you. And, we would look forward to this particular session. Also, I would request our participants to post the questions that they have during the course of the session in the chat box. We will have a detailed Q&A, followed by the presentation. And then there would also be an opportunity for some live questions. Over to you, Girish ji, for the session.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, welcome everybody. And Harshulji, thank you very much for being my brand ambassador. Yeah, thanks a lot. Sir, I have come to the entire CREDAI MCHI team, and special thanks to Bowman sir and Dhaval sir and Harshul sir for taking this initiative, for giving us a chance to share our views on the Abhay Yojna Stamp Duty Amnesty Scheme 2022. Now, without detailing much about how the scheme will run, I'll directly move to the PPT, which is self-explanatory we have prepared. So the scheme is basically, if I say has been introduced only for the first most important thing which we have to understand, this scheme is applicable only for a period of 8 months. 8 months starting from 1st April to 30th of November. And the government has bifurcated this scheme into 2 parts. That is, from 1st July to 31st July 2022, we can pay 10% of the penalty amount and 90% waiver in the penalty amount. And from 1st August to 30th November, 50% penalty to be paid and 50% waive off. Now, what is penalty and what is stamp duty? Before going further, as a layman, I'll just explain you. As you all must be aware, the stamp duty is payable on all the instruments executed within state of Maharashtra, and the stamp duty has to be paid within 24 hours from the date of execution of the documents. then two certain documents missed to be paid as the stamp duty. And once the stamp duty is not being paid, they are either not admissible as an evidence under the necessary forums. So the stamp duty payment is mandatory for all the documents which are specified in the Stamp Duty Act. Certain cases where the stamp duty has been duly paid, the document is duly registered, but then too, due to audit or due to any other issues, there are differences in the valuation which is already being carried out, and notices are being issued to either to pay the duty and penalty. In many cases, even the amalgamation matters where the honorable court and now the NCLT have passed an order, the orders are being lodged for adjudication purpose, but the stamp duty demand notice have been issued and along with the penalty, because penalty is always applicable from the date of execution. And once you miss the 30 days ka timeline from the date of execution, the penalty is going to be payable at the rate of 2%. So as under various other acts, being a Central Act, Income Tax Act, or VAT or GST Act, now the GST has become applicable. What we say in case of delaying payment, you have to pay interest. Under the Stamp Act, there is no provision of interest payable. There is a provision of penalty payable at the rate of 2% per month. And that penalty goes maximum up to 400%. So in case of any document which is unduly stamped, the government charges you the differential duty plus the penalty thereon. Many people were not coming ahead. They are ready to pay the duty, but because of the penalty being 400%, so suppose if I say my duty is 10 rupees and penalty I have to pay 40 rupees, it becomes 50 rupees, which is almost 5 times of the actual duty payable technically. So people were not coming ahead, and they were fighting the appeal either at the various forums or then at the high courts and all those things. To put an end to all those pending matters, government has come up with this amnesty scheme, and this is a golden chance to be availed on or before 31st July 2022. Why I'm saying not before 30th November 2022? The reason being the waiver is moving from 10% to 50%. So today I have to pay only 10% duty penalty, and there later on I have to pay 50% of the penalty. So there's a 90 and 50% waive off. The benefit is there. So now before going further, I would like to say that this amnesty scheme is not for making a new application for any document which has never seen the light of the day before any authorities. This is only and only in respect of documents which are already being. So this scheme is applicable only if the following conditions are fulfilled. So first, I have already explained the 8-month period filing an application, and this amnesty scheme is applicable only and only in respect of evasion, impounding, or pending adjudication at any forum, whether at IGR level, whether at ACS level, whether at DIG level, or whether at collector level, or whether at Honorable High Court, where the matters are being disputed, and where the first notice has been served to the party before 31st March 2022. If no notice has been served before 31st March 2022, then you will not be able to take the benefit. Many people have misunderstood that we can now put up a new application, a new document which has remained unduly duty paid earlier. So this amnesty scheme is different from the earlier amnesty schemes. In earlier amnesty schemes, you can freshly put up a new document which is already being executed and missed by you to pay the duty. Now here, the documents which are covered is only in respect of pending matters. So basically, I can say this Abhay Yojna is for clearing out the old demands at the stamp office and to pay the duty thereon. So, and again, there is no waiver on the stamp duty. Stamp duty will be payable at the applicable rate. What was your rate of documentation? Only penalty is being getting waived off from 100% penalty, 400% penalty. So you now need to pay only 10% of the penalty amount. I have given a live example later on, which I'll explain you. So now, any appeal or review applications, review or revision application pending before any court and authority is duly covered. Next. Yeah. Proceedings, actions proposed by COS but incomplete on the date of commencement of this order. Cases before authority, court in which recovery of deficient stamp duty and penalties in areas of land revenue has been initiated or proposed. In many cases, government have started the necessary collector office have started the proceedings under section 46, where they have frozen the accounts, or where they've started attaching the properties, for which many applications have moved to the Honorable High Court for either stay, or to the Honorable IGR for stay applications. So wherever even the land revenue has been processed, like attaching the property as areas of land revenue, even those are covered. Yeah. Once. So this is not applicable to new cases filed after this date. That is applicable only to pending cases as on 31st March, in which at least one notice has been served. The cases which will be newly submitted, or the people who missed out the bus before 30th of November, then they will be governed by the relevant provisions which are applicable. Now, who can make an application? The assessee, to whom the notice has been issued, can make an application, or if they authorize somebody from their office or to any authorized representative as a consultant to appear before the authorities, they can make an applications. Now, whatever market value authority will decide, that will be final. Now, here is a catch where MCGI need to present the case before the Revenue Ministry and the government of Maharashtra. The government has said that whatever notice has been issued prior 31st March 2022 will not undergo any changes. But if there is a genuine error in doing the calculations, so this scheme should have come up with a thing that wherever there is a genuine calculation error in the stamp duty, on the basis of representation, they should work out a revised stamp duty for which already a notice has been issued, and that should be taken into consideration. This is the way should be have done, but government didn't wanted, I think so, to rework anything. So they have decided that whatever notice is issued prior 31st March 2022, the last notice issued prior March 22 will be final, and no changes will be allowed in that. So in case of genuine calculation error, they should have allowed, or the genuine misunderstanding of the interpretation of the matter, they should have given one chance for the to the authorized representative or to the assessee to calculate the proper stamp duty and penalty thereon, and they should have taken the benefit of the scheme. That can be one of the matter for presenting before the authorities. Secondly, the government has said in the notification the stamp duty has to be paid and the penalty has to be paid before 31st of July. But when the cutoff date is 31st July or 30th November, even if we make all applications before that date, issuing an order by an authorities on the same day will be a bit difficult. All earlier amnesty scheme also, wherever people have submitted the documents prior the due dates, those orders were passed at a later date, and accordingly they were eligible because they have made an applications. So this should have been the second representation by MCGI and CREDAI and other affected parties. Okay, once the application is submitted, so till we do not receive the final order from the government how much duty is to be paid, we should fall under that scheme. Harshulji, I would like you to represent through CREDAI and MCGI and other forums for this amendment or the clarification on this thing. Secondly, the stamp duty, whatever the government officer works out, has to be paid by online grass portal. No ESBTR challan is required. So sometimes we go, notice is issued, you go to the bank and you say ki kindly make this challan payment. Sometimes they create ESBTR challan. So here it has been clarified, except grass challan, no other mode of payment is allowed. So that need to be taken care of. So now this what we discussed, stamp duty and penalty determined by authority in demand notice shall be final. That's okay. They can decide because they are the deciding authorities. But if any error is there, that should be rectified before issuing the final notice. So what I said as earlier, there is no stamp duty waiver. It's only a waiver in the penalty. Full details of documents and decisions. So the form government has provided one form. It's hardly a simple 2-pager form, which also we have attached in our PPT, in which you have to attach the full details of documents, certified copy of decision. Even if you do not have certified copy, a self-certified copy will do. I hope so. An affidavit we will not either claim a refund of the duty once the penalty is paid, penalty and anything. And secondly, we will not again fight in any other forums once the final order is issued. So it's like एक बार आपने अगर application कर दिया है, you are not supposed to get it back. But whatever, you cannot say ki I have wrongly made an application and wrongly paid the duty and I can claim the refund, which is already under all amnesty schemes. Once you have applied, whatever decision is given is final and whatever is paid is final. You cannot withdraw the same, and accordingly you have to final the thing. Secondly, if you're any appeal, now this matter, lot of people have moved to the Honorable High Court for the stamp duty and penalty thereon. In that case, whether I have to wait for the closure of the order at the, or withdraw the file at the at the Honorable High Court and then file under the amnesty scheme, or I have to withdraw the appeal. Yes, the procedure is that way, but you do not need any withdrawal order or something like that. You need only give an affidavit that we will withdraw the case, but before finding the order, authority may insist on the final withdrawal order from the honorable authority, or at least an application which you have moved, which you might have to attach before taking the order. So amount to be paid immediately after final decisions. So now what we do normally, whenever we pay any additional stamp duty or additional penalty, we miss to submit the original document. We feel कि एक बार हमने भर दिया तो काम हो गया. It is not like that. Your original document need to be recertified. So you need to submit your original document back to the authorities only after receiving the order and after paying the duty to endorse upon that the original duty paid. Now, in some cases, people will ask कि original document is not with us. Original document is at bank. So you can request the banker to bring the original document there at the departmental level. Once you have paid the duty and penalty, they will bring the document and will get the document endorsed thereon. Bank will be more happier to get it endorsed because then the document becomes more enforceable. By any chance, if the document is missed out and you do not have the availability of the original document, but you have paid the duty and the penalty, kindly obtain a certified copy of the same from any of the government authorities, being registration authorities or any other authorities. Make an application that the original is not available. So kindly certify the photocopy of the same. There is no such provision to certify the photocopy of the same. But since section 3 says even a photocopy will be treated as an evidence once the stamp duty is duly paid thereon, and it will be impounded, can be impounded. So any document can be impounded. So similarly, a photocopy has to be impounded, and on that basis also we should be able to pay the get the endorsement on the document. The certification anyway the government is saying will be done within 7 days after payment. So that is so what I call certification is nothing but that endorsement on your original document. As I explained, no refund duty can be made. Application can be made once you have availed the scheme. And secondly, no appeal or review application can be made for the same. You need to submit Form A, which I have attached here with, which you will be able to see out. Application now. Now this I said you, application received after cutoff date mentioned in this order shall be processed by law. So if I read the notification, there is a contradiction. One, they say the demand notice has to be issued by the authority for the final stamp duty and penalty payable thereon. And once you paid, then only you are eligible for the scheme. Secondly, they are saying the application received after cutoff date mentioned shall be processed by law. So in this case, it means that once the application is submitted by us before within those due dates, that is 31st July 2022 and 30th November 2022, even though the order is not received by the authorities, the final order to pay the duty and penalty, I think those application has to be processed. Definitely after 30th November, we cannot make any new applications except the government do the further extension. Now some people may say that already we have paid duty and penalty just in the month of March or in the month of April or earlier. Can I avail the benefit and can claim the refund of those duties and penalties which you already paid? The answer is no. Government has strictly clarified whatever is paid is paid. This amnesty scheme is only for the applicable with effect from 1st April, not prior to that date for which people have already paid. Who have not paid can definitely go for this scheme provided they have been issued first notice. Now, there were earlier 4 to 5 amnesty schemes have been come earlier, wherein people have submitted an application to the authorities but could not able to get an order. So if you have an old acknowledgement where you have submitted an application to the authorities and the documents are still lying at department, or you have received notice along with penalty thereon, will be able to take the benefit under this amnesty scheme, but only they need to make a fresh application. Now, I think this is the basis through which the government has introduced the scheme. Now, an example through which how we will be able to say. So now I have shared one challan demand notice by the honorable authority, definitely with the consent of our client, in which we have been issued. The document was of 2003, 12,50,000 rupees. The file has been submitted for adjudication at Collector of Stamps on 20th of March 2022, that is prior 31st March. On the basis of the proofs, officer has issued the demand notice, which was issued on 30th of March 2022. So this is the important date. Okay, the notice has been issued prior 31st March 2022, stating the duty of 58,440 and penalty of 2,33,000. Now, as per circular and notification, one demand notice has been served. So first demand notice has been served on 30th March, along with penalty of 400%. Now, because of this amnesty scheme, if the client applies under the amnesty scheme, he gives a form A within given period time to the collector. The application has been submitted within 8 months. Then he has to pay 10% on penalty amount, which will be, so stamp duty has to pay in full. So instead of 2,33,000, now he has to pay only 23,376. So if you see, there is a 90% benefit you are going to get it. So this is a golden chance to be availed before 31st July 2022. By any chance, if you miss that bus, then you can definitely board into the second bus, which is starting from 1st July and ending on 30th November. In this case, your penalty stamp duty amount remains the same, but the penalty amount comes to 1,16,880. That is 50% of the penalty amount. Now, so this is the government circular. Also, I have attached in detail in English. Even Marathi version is available, which if required, I can share the same with you. So this is the entire, whatever explained, the same thing has been covered here in detail. So it is covering around 17 to, in all 17 points it covers. This is the form in which you can make an application. This is available in PDF format also. I will share with CREDAI in the PDF form also, so they can circulate within the group. And so it runs into hardly 2 pages, wherein you only need to give the details of the document signed by the applicant. I want to take the benefit of the scheme, and I will follow all the terms and conditions of the order, which I have already attached here with. Demand notice share kiya hai. Okay, I'll share the demand notice also. So this is the thing, sir. Now over to you, Harshulji and the CREDAI team, for any question answers if they have, we can answer those questions answers.
Thank you, Girish, Jain, sir. This was very informational and very crisp, and I think looked to address a lot of areas. There was one question which was there by Anil Katpalji. The question is that after paying stamp duty in amnesty scheme, is registration of document compulsory between the parties?
Yeah. So now, first of all, let's understand, sir, stamp duty department and registration department, even though managed by one authority, that is revenue authorities, both are different, and both are governed by different act. One is the Stamp Act and second is the Indian Registration Act. Under the Indian Registration Act, there is a time barring limit. Okay, the document has to be registered within a period of 8 months from the date of execution. So by paying the duty, you are only regularizing the document. So there is no default as far as stamp duty is concerned. But if 8 months have expired, the document cannot be registered. Now here lies a catch. In this case, government has said that stamp duty, this amnesty scheme is only in respect of the old documents or the for which the first notice has been issued. So where the first notice has been issued, and if you have lost the document within the timeline of 8 months from the date of execution to the authorities, and the document stayed at the government office only, and you have not got the document from the stamp office, so there has been no delay from your side, and there has been a delay from the departmental side, definitely you can move an application to the Honorable High Court by filing a WP writ petition, and therein the period for which the document is lying at the department will be not be treated as the period under the time of limitations. For such similar matters, we have already taken orders in other matters, even many other consultants must have taken order from the Honorable High Court, provided you have lodged the document within that 8-month period earlier from the date of execution. But however, you have lodged the document later on and the document has now missed the 8 months period, then you cannot register the document, but you can register the document by executing a fresh deed of transfer or fresh sale deed between both the parties, paying the duty at the applicable rate presently, minus the old duty which you pay under the amnesty scheme. That way you can register the document. Otherwise, once 8 months have expired, you cannot register any document.
So at this point, we would also keep the floor open for any questions. Harish, you could unmute the participant who wants to ask any question. So I think one we have from Mr. Pragati Rastogi ji. Ms. Pragati Rastogi ji, development agreement was duly registered by paying the stamp duty as per the adjudication order of the Collector of Stamps, Mumbai. Auditor General found there is a short levy of stamp duty due to undervaluation of the property. Order was passed leaving short stamp duty and penalty. It was not considered that as per ASR, depreciation is applicable. Since the property was more than 60 years old, it may get 40% depreciation, hence the valuation. Order has been challenged by us by way of writ petition. Please throw light on the above in view of the amnesty scheme.
Yeah, so sir, this is a unique case which can be duly covered under the amnesty scheme. But as I said, there is no fresh calculation which can be done by the authorities or by the representation. So whatever the final order by the Honorable CCRA, which being the part of the writ petition filed at the Honorable High Court, will stand as the final notice issued. And on that basis, whatever notice is issued, suppose in that notice, if the stamp duty amount is 100 rupees and penalty is 400 rupees, so they have to pay that last stamp duty which is worked out by Honorable IGR, and 400 rupees ka 10%, that is 40 rupees. So they can avail this benefit. But if they want the recalculation to be done, that cannot be done because that is not permitted. So the scheme is very clear. I'll read out that para from the scheme, which is already being forming part of my PPT. I'll just read out. An amount of para number 9, an amount of stamp duty and penalty determined by authority in demand notice in the said proceedings or any order passed under this act shall be final to avail the benefit of the said reduction, and no new or fresh determination of market value shall be allowed. An amount of deficit stamp duty shall be fully paid to the government. So deficit stamp duty has to be paid and penalty 10% or 50% as per the date you have to pay.
Right. So we have Ms. Dhara Dedia who wants to ask a question. Harish, you could unmute Dhara. I think she wants to ask a question.
Dhara, please go on with your question.
Yeah. Okay. I have just bought a property. From whom I have bought the property has paid the stamp duty, but he before that he doesn't have the chain of agreement, and he has the photocopy of it. And one of the photocopy shows that the stamp duty is not paid. I guess that is around in 1990 or 1983, around that. I don't know the exact date. So I don't have the original document. I mean, the person from whom I've bought doesn't have the original document. But the lawyer says that the stamp duty is not paid. But now, since I don't have the original document, how should I pay it?
Ma'am, frankly speaking, under this amnesty scheme, this benefit is not available. As I said you, the duty can be paid. This amnesty scheme is only applicable in respect of first notice has been issued prior 31st March 2022. And when the first notice gets issued by prior 31st March, provided you have lost the document before March 22 for adjudication. But
yeah, so the person has lost the document. He has
I'm coming to that, ma'am.
Okay.
So since the person has lost the document, there is no such provision wherein the photocopy can be impounded and the duty can be paid. This is bigger reasoning. So that you need a compulsory stamp paper executed document, original document. Otherwise, everybody will start, even though they have the true intentions. But some people may take the benefit that they make some photocopy of the document, get it submitted, and say that this is the original document. So the government has stopped doing that after the Honorable High Court decisions, which I'll share with the team. Ki photocopy cannot be now adjudicated per se, and accordingly, so the document now cannot be done. The only solution to this is that take a necessary indemnity. You calculate the duty on that amount, whatever is the duty payable from your consultant and the penalty payable thereon, and that much amount you can keep it as in escrow, or that much amount can be kept in some indemnity. Okay, in future, if any demand comes, something like that, that can be covered up. Otherwise, you have to live with it. There is no other solution. And police NC will suffice if the original document is lost. That is title documentation you can do.
Okay, so I just need to FIR I just need to do an NC that the document is lost.
Yeah, correct. And then take the necessary stamp duty calculation and penalty done, and that you can keep it in the escrow, or you can do a commercial, you can take a decision. But however, something is not, like if my one finger is not there, is not there. Now I cannot rebuild the new finger. Okay?
Exactly.
That is the way. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So we'll just take up one last question. This is by Abhishek Goelji. His property purchase was in March 1979. During that time, we had paid stamp duty to the builder, but documents are not traceable with the registrar. What should I do?
So, in case the document is duly registered, then they must have some registration receipt or photocopy of the same. Then we can try to find out the document. But by any chance, even the receipt is not there and anything is not there, so any adjoining flat purchaser ka agreement copy, if we can see, then we can do a search on the government ka e-search portal at the Honorable IGR office. And in that search, in that particular year, you can try to find out whether my document is registered or not. And in that case, if document is registered during that period, you can remove a certified copy from the department by making an application. That is the only way to find out the document. Otherwise, how I reply to Dharaji, if something is missing, you need, and once you located the document, then again you can go for FNC, public notice, and all those things.
Thank you. This was indeed a very informative session, and I really credit team JPJC for pulling this presentation up at such a short notice and ensuring that all the participants benefit from the crisp knowledge share. Thank you everyone for joining in. We would be sharing the presentation as well as the recording with all the participants and the other members of CREDAI MCHI. Up till next time, see you all for another knowledge series session. Thank you.
I think one question has come, sir, recently.
Oh, okay.
One last question you can answer. I think it's in the
Sure,
chat.
sir. You could take it up. Yeah.
How to apply under this scheme? Sir, I have already shared the form A in my PPT, under which you can apply to the scheme, to the necessary authorities. So from wherever you have been issued a notice, you only need to take a copy of the notice and attach with the form A, which is my last page of the PPT, and you make an application, and accordingly the process will start at the necessary jurisdiction, the officer. I think I have answered this. Thank you. Thanks for everything, sir. Thanks a lot, and thanks to my.
Girish sir, you can have a look at the comments in the chat box. They're extremely encouraging. I think the participants have really benefited from this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.